You probably have some pretty big dreams, don't you? And if you're anything like me, those dreams can feel quite scary and quite unachievable almost in who you are at the moment. You look at your life over the last year, the last 3 years, the last 5 years, and those dreams, you've had them, but they're being buried. They're being crushed under the weight of responsibility, of life, and that little spark that you had just seems to be getting extinguished slowly. And I think that can happen to a lot of us. It's very easy for life to get in the way of our dreams and the drudgery of day-to-day life to really start to smother them and make us feel like we're never going to make it. We're never going to achieve that goal or that dream that we have for ourselves, whether it be a physique or a house or a relationship, a job, a career path, a business. It doesn't matter what it is. We can have these huge dreams of what we want to do, and it can be quite disheartening that we look back over the last few years and don't really see that we've made any progress towards them. I think that really comes down to two main factors. The first is self-belief. I think a lot of us have these dreams, and myself included, for a long while, but I never really thought that I could achieve them. I didn't think that necessarily they were possible for me, or that it was maybe even that I deserved to live out that dream. And it took a lot of inner work and a lot of practice and a lot of discipline to get to a point where when I actually started taking steps towards that goal, it made it a lot more manageable, and I can actually see a path to achieving it. I'll give the example of when I first started in the gym, and I think I was probably about 14 or 15 when I first got interested in the gym, and I would go on my lunch breaks at school to our school gym. It wasn't great, but there was a few machines and a few lightweight dumbbells, and I would do a workout every day in there. And I bought some dumbbells and a bench for my bedroom at home, and would do some exercise there as well. But I never really saw any progress. I wasn't that consistent with it. I didn't really know what I was doing. But I always had this dream that I wanted to be able to bench press 100 kilos or 2 plates. And it was probably another 8 years before I actually managed to realise that goal. And it wasn't until I got serious in the gym and actually started to record what I was doing, to track my progress, and to really learn about how to build muscle and to build strength, that I was able to achieve that goal. And I'm pleased to say I've now achieved it and actually broken through it and can bench more than my original goal. But it took me a long while to get there, and for a lot of years I just kind of went round in circles. I would get really enthusiastic for the gym for a while and then just fall off. And your dreams may be a bit like that as well. You find something that this is what I want to do, and you start towards that goal. And you start out with, and you have so much passion, so much fire for it. You're really, really motivated towards this goal or this dream. But when it starts to actually, you realise that it's going to take years to reach this goal, and it's not an instant thing, that is actually quite a lot harder than you initially thought it would be, perhaps, or that you're going to have to learn a lot of skills or information to be able to get you to this point and to achieve that dream or that goal. And I think that's where a lot of us can struggle. We have this initial hit of motivation, and we then, when that starts to wane and run out, we don't have the discipline and the consistency built to take us forward. And perhaps we don't believe that, if it hasn't come easy, then it's not for us. And so reframing that in our minds to a place where we understand what we're going to have to sacrifice to get this dream, and we we kind of know the journey that we're going to have to go on, the personal development that we're going to have to do to attain this goal. We don't just sit and wait for it to happen, and we're not sporadic about our efforts. It's consistency. And consistency was something I struggled with for a long while too. Again, I think it builds into that discipline and the motivation side of things, because when you're motivated, it's very easy to be consistent. But when you're unmotivated, when it's cold and it's dark and you're tired and your car's broken down and you don't feel well, it's a lot harder at that point to then be consistent. You know, that motivation has waned, and it takes discipline to go and do the thing that you know you need to do to get you towards the goal. And so tying back that self-belief and the motivation, discipline, consistency conundrum, when we have that self-belief to go after the goal and we start to be consistent, we start to be disciplined, even when we don't feel like it, that actually starts to feed into the self-belief. We see ourselves as a person who is disciplined towards that goal, who is making progress, and that self-discipline helps to build the self-image and the self-belief, and that self-belief then actually starts to feed back into the discipline. It becomes quite a nice little cycle. But of course the opposite is also true. If we're always breaking promises to ourselves or not sticking to what we've set out and what we're dreaming of, we're not making progress and working towards it, that actually then starts to erode that self-belief, and it can be quite a difficult thing to then get back on top of. To me, I found the easiest way of building that consistency, that discipline, and building the self-belief as well is actually just to start with the smallest possible task you can do. You know, like build little micro habits. So for exercise, for example, I try and get a 5-minute daily workout in. I'll go out to my garage where I have a home gym and do 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups and 30 bodyweight squats. And that gets me going, that gets me in the gym, and it's at least something that I've done. I'll quite often then do another workout in the day, but at least I've done something towards that goal of my looking after my health and my fitness. The same can be said for my creativity. Something that I've really been focusing on this year is being more creative and letting myself be more of an artist and to enjoy that creative experience. These videos are part of that for me, but again, it's consistency. It's just going and doing something small every day, whether it's recording a video, doing a drawing, perhaps doing a bit of writing for a book or whatever I'm working on at the time. Just those little daily acts of creativity have really helped to snowball into consistency and into self-belief that I can do it and it's working. You know, with YouTube, for example, I had for probably about 4 years this goal of making a YouTube channel and, you know, getting on camera talking about the things that I was passionate about. And I had a few little stabs at it when motivation was high, but none of them stuck, none of them lasted. And I kept coming back to this thing that this was my dream, that I wanted to have a YouTube channel and make content for it. And it was very demoralizing every time that I kind of broke that cycle I was talking about. You know, I'd have a really motivated period, make some videos that gave me a little bit of self-belief, but then I never finished the loop. I never got the discipline to keep it going and feeding into itself. And so, yeah, I kind of stumbled around for 4 years, not really having a purpose, not really knowing what I was doing, where I was going. And that was really tough. And kind of I started to just put that dream to the back of my mind until I realised that the only way that I was going to get away from that nagging sense of I knew I could do it, I knew it was a dream I had, was actually to go and take some action. I think action often actually precedes motivation, and that's why discipline is so important. You know, we can so easily slip into the trap of only doing the things that we know we need to do when we're motivated to do them. And more often than not, we're not motivated to do them. It's actually that the action of going out and doing a little workout then motivates you to take better care of your health and your fitness, and to go and do that full workout, you know? And so I kind of took these ideas, these little micro habits that I could do in the different areas of life that I had dreams for, and that I knew were important to take care of my health, both mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and also just other things that I knew really benefited me, like going for a walk every day, getting some fresh air, that kind of thing. And I packaged them up into this system that I now use on a daily basis, and it just gives me so much momentum and so much I suppose self-belief, and it helps my self-image, because I can look back and see that, oh, I've done, I've journaled every day for the last 6 weeks or whatever it is, and that really helps to then just build that pattern of consistency and discipline that feeds into the self-belief. If you're interested in the exact system that I've used and want to kind of follow something for your life, you don't really know quite what you should be doing, then there's an ebook linked in the description below that will set out some guidelines, and it's very, very fluid, and you'll be able to fit it to your life. But I think the system in general will help you to set yourself up to chase those dreams that you have in a healthier and more sustainable way than perhaps you've attempted in the past. So yeah, as I say, if you're interested in that, the link's down in the description below. It's free, and I hope it helps. Until next time, thanks ever so much for watching. Do hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Comment, like the video, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless.